Welcome back to Weather for Weather Geeks, everyone. It's the Thursday afternoon edition. Another very pleasant day out there today with a mix of sun and clouds. First things first, let's talk about how cool it got this morning. We did have enough cloud cover overnight last night, at least for parts of the night, that temperatures didn't get quite as cool as they could have had we had a clear sky the entire night and all of that radiation would have lifted back out into space. But we held on to some of it because of some of the cloud cover. As you may know, if you're kind of into the weather, clouds, this is an overly simplistic view, but clouds can act as kind of a blanket, trapping some of the long wave radiation that the sun provides during the day as it tries to escape back out to space at night. If there are clouds, it tends to hold it in, and that keeps the temperature up. Again, that's a little overly simplistic, but you get the idea. So anyway, it could have been colder last night, but we did have a few 40s showing up in some backyard locations here. These are all backyard weather stations that upload their data to the internet. You can spend a few $100s, or even less than that. Some of the less expensive stations run closer to 100 that have the ability to upload data to the internet. And if you see me on TV showing what we call the backyard temperatures graphic, the same idea is this. Those are stations that upload their data to the internet, and therefore I have access to them. Automatically uploads. Every now and then we get a comment from a viewer. Hey, why isn't my hometown on that map? Well, first of all, we can't put everyone's hometown on the map. It'll look way too busy. But secondly, the locations that are on the map, it's not because we don't like your hometown. It's because in that location there is a weather station somewhere that uploads data to the internet. So anyway, 49 down in Lisbon this morning. We had a 49 over here just north of Mercer as well. 48 over in Newcastle. The rest of us were in the lower 50s at the start of the day today. So it was a cool start. Tomorrow morning will be pretty cool once again, and then it's kind of back to normal as we head towards the weekend. All right, I have a few things plotted up here this afternoon, recording this at about 2:05. Current temperature 71 here at the Youngstown Warren Airport. We'll tack on 2, maybe 3 more before the day is through. The orangish lines here, these are lines plotting up the flow in the atmosphere at about 18,000 feet, 500 millibar level. And we can easily pick out where troughs and ridges are located, and it gives us an idea as, why is the weather doing what it's doing. Anyway, as you can see here, we've got a trough of low pressure, kind of like this, pivoting through the Great Lakes. A trough of low pressure, a pool of cold air aloft, upstairs in the atmosphere. So that's where our trough is. There's a ridge out west. Notice how these lines kind of bend up like this out along the west coast, and that's why it's so warm out here. It's, even at 11 in the morning, it's almost 90 degrees in interior parts of Washington and Oregon this afternoon. So that's what I have plotted up there. I'll take that off. Otherwise, of course, beautiful day out there. Some passing fair weather cumulus clouds. With all this chilly air up in the atmosphere, you get some sunshine, and clouds have no problem forming when it's that cold up several thousand feet up. So it's not going to be completely sunny when we have a pattern like this, but partly sunny sky. You need the shades out there today. Temperatures, of course, way below average. It's even cooler up in New York. Look at this at Syracuse. It's only 64, where they've had a couple of showers this afternoon. As far as the dew points go, of course, it is a dry air mass, so dew points are only in the upper 40s to around 50. Out to the west, though, notice, dew points are getting up into the 60s and 70s, Texas, Oklahoma. Some of this is going to start to come east as we head towards the upcoming weekend. So let's talk about the future. First of all, tonight's low temperatures as we head into Friday morning. Based on the NAM model, this might be a little too warm by a degree or two. It's going to depend on the clouds again tonight. If we go completely clear for long enough, I could see where there's going to be some 47s, 46 maybe, in some of the real cool nooks and crannies. On average, though, we'll be close to 50 as you start out Friday morning. So this is a look at Friday morning's temperatures, but the afternoon tomorrow is going to be warmer than yesterday and today. I think we make a run at 80 tomorrow afternoon. Fine looking Friday. Here's Friday's surface map. Some moisture building out to the west as that higher dew point air comes north, but ridge of high pressure over Pennsylvania and New York will just keep us mostly sunny tomorrow. It's going to be a beautiful day as we wrap up the week. Clouds are going to come in over the weekend. And, there's been some debate all week as to, how much rain and what's the timing as we head into the weekend. I still think this will be real scattered or hit or miss. Yesterday's models slowed down the possibility of shower and thunderstorm activity to mostly the afternoon Saturday. Now, the latest run of GFS speeds it back up a little bit and allows for something to happen anytime. This is just one model. see what the latest models have as we go through the afternoon. But I think the bottom line for Saturday is if you have outdoor plans, it's going to be cloudier, it's going to be warmer, it's going to be more humid than the work week, but it is not a washout. We just have to allow for that spotty shower and thunderstorm at about any point on Saturday, with the first of a couple of disturbances coming our way. Here's a look at Sunday. Now, the latest GFS model would have you believe that Sunday is going to be, very inactive, very innocent most of the day. I think we're going to keep our 30% chance of a shower or a thunderstorm, but it's going to be real hit or miss on Sunday. So both days this weekend, mostly dry, but we are going to allow for the possibility of a quick passing shower or a thunderstorm Saturday and Sunday. Heading into next week, Monday looks like a quiet day. It's going to be warm, it's going to be humid, and warm and humid is going to be the theme for at least the first half of next week. Tuesday's looking fairly uneventful at this point, and here's a look at next Wednesday. This is when our next front's likely dropping in. Again, this is just one model. When you're 6 days out, the models are going to have their differences as far as timing of everything, but likely it's going to be Wednesday into Thursday next week that our best chance of showers and storms occurs along our next front. All right, so the overall trend as we head into the longer range here. Here's a look at the upper level pattern right now. Again, trough of low pressure, just like I showed you through here. Here's our ridge off the west coast. So this is the current pattern. Let's fast forward to a week from right now. Look how different this is. That ridge has moved onto the mainland U.S. and is centered over the Rockies and the plains. So there's going to be a lot of heat building out here middle of next week. Some of that heat is going to come east. Now you'll notice, though, the ridge isn't sitting right over us, so it's not going to be in the mid-90s next week with a ton of humidity. It is going to be seasonably warm, seasonably humid, but it's not going to get out of control, I don't think. I wouldn't be flabbergasted if we got our first 90 of the year middle of next week before that front arrives, but right now our forecast is mid-80s. I'm pretty comfortable with that. So, typical July heat, but certainly the heart of the heat is going to be out west, middle of next week. Then look what happens a week after that. Now, as we get out into 2 weeks, our confidence in any model forecast is going to be lower. But the European model has been trending this way towards the end of July. This is Wednesday the 30th. The end of July, maybe bringing another decent trough into the eastern U.S. with the heat out west. So, what I take away from this is there's going to be some 2 or 3, maybe even 4-day chunks where it's pretty warm. Might have a hard time hitting 90, but we're not looking at a 10-day stretch of really hot weather anytime soon through the end of July, it looks like. So the dog days of summer, the time of the year where you could get a 10-day stretch where consistently it's between 85 and 90, it doesn't look real likely this time around. So if we're going to see that, it's probably not going to be until we turn the calendar over into August. Again, yes, it's going to be warm for a few days at a time, but a sustained period of real hot weather just doesn't look like it's in the cards through the end of July. All right, that's weather for Weather Geeks on this Thursday. We'll have the finally Friday edition online mid-afternoon tomorrow. In the meantime, of course, you can always check out my forecast tonight on 21 News at 6 and 11.